Welcome back to the A&J podcast. Today we got a couple things to talk about. We have to address the elephant in the room. I didn't upload last week's podcast. We were talking about WWE and the Elimination Chamber, and a lot of the predictions and things that we were talking about that day ended up changing just a few hours later, and everything got thrown out of the room, and I was just like, okay, what am I uploading?
Yeah, it was, everything just became irrelevant, really.
Yeah, everything, literally everything. It was just like, oh, what'll Drew McIntyre do at WrestleMania? What'll happen with Bray Wyatt? And then nothing. Drew's not the champion anymore. Bray never showed up to fuck up Randy Orton.
Somehow Daniel Bryan won his third Elimination Chamber. Daniel Bryan, just so he could get in a 45-second match with Roman Reigns to lose. You realize that how many double matches they had? Drew McIntyre technically had two matches. I mean, technically more based on people, but two separate matches. Daniel Bryan, two matches. Roman Reigns, he had two matches too, right? No, wait.
Roman, I don't think competed.
No, he didn't. I'm sorry. No, he just he fought Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there was one more. I feel like there was another. But I guess, well, anyway. I guess nevertheless, the two Elimination Chamber winners,
right,
from each brand, both had double matches. Like
it's completely fucked. I mean, like, yeah. Okay, so like a comment that Daniel Bryan actually made on Friday, is that how a champion who had to sneak attack, or I forgot the exact quote, but it was like a champion or a guy who had to come in and like fight somebody like that, like the way he did, would be a coward, and he's not really a champion. And I started laughing because I was like, yo, that goes to Roman, but that also goes to The Miz.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm not happy that Drew is not the champion. I'm not happy how The Miz became the champion, but I like The Miz as champion.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, it just seems more like entertaining, and it's like, you know, that's the thing. Like, once you follow an underdog and they become that champion finally, it's like, what could happen to take them out of that spot? Because now they've completed that story. So now you're just sitting there going, okay, how long can he hold that title? Now he's got a target on his back, and it's just like, unless he turns into a bad guy, like, what else is there for that guy to really do? So to have this guy, Miz, the perfect heel in my opinion, to come in and just steal that belt the way he did, really brings Drew back into that picture of this guy needs to get his revenge and needs to make a statement and really needs to get back at The Miz. So now I'm more invested in the story.
Yeah. So then, wait, so you're saying the fact that he came in and swept in and got the belt, you're more invested. So you do like how The Miz got it? Or you don't?
I don't like it. Like, okay, so like, as far as like I like The Miz, right? I just don't like him, you know, oh my God, what am I trying to say? So I like The Miz, but I'm not a fan of his tactics. Like, you know, you want to hate him. It's like a guy you love to hate.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, that makes
so it's like, he's the champion. It's like, I can accept it that he's a champion because I know he's going to get his ass handed to himself at some point. So I'm invested in the point, in the idea of where this goes, and hopefully it's Drew that's still in that shot to get that belt back. I hope they don't drop him completely from the picture, and then it comes WrestleMania and there's nothing but just The Miz as champion against, I don't know, some other guy.
I think this is what's probably gonna, because he's facing Bobby Lashley on Monday.
Yeah,
and I think Bobby Lashley's gonna destroy him. I think they're just gonna have him as a placeholder. They could give Bobby Lashley the belt, and then have Bobby Lashley go into WrestleMania as the champ, and then have somebody beat him. I don't know if they want to have McIntyre go back, because the thing is, McIntyre's already beat Lashley. So like, but if they want to give, like, if they're just gonna make Lashley like a monster from now till WrestleMania, just like a Lesnar, like fucking destroying everybody, so that when they put McIntyre up against him and he beats him. It's like, oh yeah, he did it. But like, I don't know. I mean, I honestly, I just didn't see Lashley not beating the Miz at this point. I feel like they're just really pushing Lashley. Yeah.
I
So
could see that. I just at this point, like, I feel like all of our expectations need to be subverted somehow.
yeah,
And so expecting Lashley to beat the Miz would be a reasonable thing to assume. But I think you need to remember that Miz also has a numbers game. Well, Bobby Lashley has more of the numbers game.
yeah, he's got the yeah. That's true too.
He's got
got
the
the
entire hurt business.
Yeah. So I mean, unless McIntyre comes in, well, because remember Lashley fucked up McIntyre so Miz could get the belt. So McIntyre might come into that match and um interfere and just destroy Lashley. This might turn into a triple threat scenario between them. Like, yeah, this could go a whole
But
bunch of
that's the
ways.
thing. I don't want to see WrestleMania be like a night of triple threats, because there's a bunch of other predictions that I had that like could lead into triple threats, and I don't want to see that.
No, me neither.
But
Man.
I agree. Like, yeah, it should be Bobby Lashley should probably lose. No.
Wait, you talk about Monday or
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because now you got Monday to worry about. So, like, yeah, exactly. Like, what happens? So, like, we'll see. Monday, Bobby Lashley versus Miz. I'm thinking, like, this could go up to Fastlane, and then Fastlane would be, like, maybe Drew is out for a while. Maybe Miz surprises everybody and wins Monday. They rematch for Fastlane. Fight there. Drew returns, ruins the match on all of them. Miz retains the title, goes into WrestleMania because now Drew's in the picture and they give Drew the rematch at WrestleMania. Drew becomes a champion at WrestleMania in front of a crowd. Complicated, but it's in WWE's ballpark.
Yeah, I mean that, and maybe my only thing is like Drew beating the Miz doesn't like at WrestleMania. It's not to me. It's not a WrestleMania. I mean, unless Miz like really becomes an amazing like, because I feel the same way about the Miz. I like him. I hate when he's a heel. Oh, he's so squirmy and like, but he's great at it. But with the lineup that McIntyre has just utterly just plowed through over the last year or so. Last year was it started with Lesnar.
Yeah.
And now for him to beat Miz, it's like,
yeah.
Great job.
Now you're explaining it to me like that. Like, now I'm like, ooh, yeah,
that's why I think Lashley's going to win on Monday. This way they have about 2 months or whatever, a month or two, whatever, as much as time as they can to just make him like a beat. If they're gonna, this is if they bring Drew back into the picture, then I think they're going to make Lashley, make him a monster. Because again, he's one of the few people who can capture like a Lesnar guy. He's a beast. Lashley's a beast. And so make him this dominant force. Have him beat the champion. And just make him just a monster up until WrestleMania, so he's at least got some clout as this and that's it. But the thing is, because they had the match him and Strowman, which he beat him, right? So it's just a 1-on-1. But like, I don't. The only thing with that is that like McIntyre has beat Lashley already, so it's like. It's like he's just gonna beat him again. Like we know he's done it before, That's why I think. I mean, if they make him like a real monster in the next 2 months and just jam pack him with like violence, now maybe you can make him something that like he's unleashed. And if McIntyre beats him, it's like unless McIntyre fights him and McIntyre doesn't win, and it's like, oh shit, this is the guy. Like this is Bobby Lashley's time now. This is the guy who stopped McIntyre. And you know what? I might be okay with that. Just because I don't want to see McIntyre fizzle out. He's got to lose the belt. He has to lose the belt sooner or later, and he's had it for over a year now. And he's been a great champion. He's destroyed everybody, and every match has been pretty phenomenal. I think every match has been a great match, great performance by him. And so, I mean, he's done it all, and now he's just going to start doing repeats. So you got to have somebody who's taking. And I think it's funny because just in the last podcast, which people aren't going to get to hear, but we were saying how like Bobby Lashley, like for a while, he didn't do much for me because he was just very like they didn't do a lot with his character, monster, but just boring in the writing. And they're really starting to let like just I mean they're pushing him hard, but like they are making him a beast and he can sell it. So he is somebody who in that on that roster that I believe in a straight up 1-on-1 could beat McIntyre, on Bobby Lashley's best day, he could beat a broken McIntyre. You also got to figure out Sheamus. I mean, there's still Sheamus. Sheamus is involved.
Oh yeah.
Three things to consider: Sheamus, Randy Orton, and The Fiend. Now, Randy Orton and The Fiend, we thought would be taken out already, but I still think they'll have their own thing. But we can't count them out of this championship. They're both former champs. Orton's still teetering right in the orbit of this championship, thing, fresh out of the elimination chamber. So I mean, you can't rule him out completely. And The Fiend too. I mean, The Fiend, if The Fiend comes back as what I'm hoping he comes back as, he might just walk in, fucking destroy people, take the belt, and it's his time now. Like he might be the one to fucking like maybe he comes in and destroys Lashley. This way it's not McIntyre. You have this monster. So now this is an out there theory, like that came out of nowhere. But
Yeah, wait, but all this stuff that was leading up with Randy Orton being haunted by Alexa Bliss, being haunted by Bray Wyatt, and now it's just like, oh, switch over. Now he's going to go after Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre.
No, I think that'll still play into it. But maybe what they'll do is maybe Bobby Lashley will get the belt, and then maybe they'll have Orton start to fight Bobby Lashley, build that chemistry there, and then you still have the Fiend pulling his thing until like he I don't know. It could happen, but I mean, no, he would still have like everything with the Fiend. If they abandon then that's it. They've killed the Fiend again before he's even been reborn.
Right.
No, so Orton very much has to be 100% a part of that as well. But you can still have him tied into this championship, and knowing them, they'd still find a way, even if they push the Fiend back or some shit, like whatever they do. Again, we have to consider all possibilities and to not at least group them in that championship orbit, like I said, would be kind of, because again, if it is Lashley, I don't want to see McIntyre, just because if McIntyre wins, okay, awesome. I'm sure it'd be a great show, but we've seen it. I don't want to see it again for WrestleMania. If Lashley beats McIntyre, okay, but I don't want to see that for McIntyre's sake. I want to see him just to come back to lose at WrestleMania, to finally you have a crowd, or at least some type of semblance of a crowd, and now he loses it.
So you're saying keep Drew out?
Yeah, keep Drew out. Have Lashley, and I guess this is a little bit more of what I would love to see happen now, influencing this post prediction, but pretty much the last thing I said. Now you get Orton in there somehow, you get like that shit going on, and you keep the Fiend involved, and then somehow Fiend and Lashley at WrestleMania, and Fiend just destroys him, regains his dominance, unstoppable force. Also, maybe Braun Strowman too, because remember, Braun Strowman did fight Lashley last week to have a contenders match. So Strowman also might still be in. This might turn into like a 6-man Hell in the Cell type shit.
Oh man.
But so I mean, again, somebody else that you definitely have to keep in that.
Honestly, my vision would just be to keep everything very simple. Bray with Randy Orton at WrestleMania, do like a whole do what they did last year with John Cena, like go through the eras of Randy Orton, something like that. If there's like a new version of the Fiend, maybe it's a new version of the Fiend that's specific to Randy Orton's viciousness, so that it makes that like spectacle really cool. Then.
Yeah, maybe like something to do with the swamp, like a zombie, not a zombie. Like I don't want to be tacky or shit, but like a zombie Bray, like a fucking.
Yeah, I mean, like the dude got burned, so like there's got to be something with that.
That's right too. Because he burned Bray and he burned the Fiend. So yeah, I think the Fiend's definitely coming back as like a 2.0. Like I think they're gonna rebrand him a little, change his look, but I think they're just gonna do it. I think they're gonna make him what he was when he first started, but just not fuck it up again. That's my hope.
That's the only thing we can hope for, that they don't fuck it up, because it's exactly what keeps on happening with his character. Like, he hits something amazing, and then I don't know, like, it's like creative is just like, oh, we can't keep this up, we gotta change it. It's like, dude, the Funhouse thing was like the most. I thought, like, I would look forward to watching that segment when they would be like, Funhouse tonight. I'm like, that's awesome, I'm gonna keep watching. And like, there's times where like I stopped watching the show a little bit and I would come back a little bit later, but like, and I would look like, did the Fiend, did they already do the Playhouse? No. And it got to the point where you're like, all right, near the end of the show, that's when it's gonna happen, so I have something to look forward to. And then they just like were like, oh yeah, we're done with that. Like, all right, now we're gonna do stupid things where like we're just gonna like do ghost people and have Triple H disappear into the void and not address what his opinion on being sucked out of the ring is like.
Triple H, what was it like being teleported through time?
Yeah, exactly. Like what does Triple H have to say about that? Like,
imagine Stephen Hawking was still alive. They bring in Stephen Hawking. Like, they make a real thing. Fucking Vince McMahon, we gotta sell it. We gotta sell it. We gotta sell this fucking thing.
Just bring all these like people through history or whatever. But like, yeah, like what happened? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they never address it, they never address it, right? But like, I don't know. It's still like those little things that are like, what the fuck is going on?
But yeah, sometimes they overstep a little. It's like, guys, pull back just a little.
Can we keep it in the ring?
So much more believable by doing a little bit less. Like, less is more sometimes, and like, you know.
Like, you know, maybe they're trying to find what that sweet spot was, but I don't know. Just kind of took me out on that one. But anyway, the other thing with WrestleMania, we got now Roman Reigns. He retains his title after doing exactly what I was afraid of happening. So I obviously, you know, Daniel Bryan won the match, but I had said my vote was that KO was gonna win, and then he gets taken out. So I'm like, okay, shit.
I had messaged you. Had you seen the last man standing match between KO and Roman Reigns? Like, dude, he goes through that match, unstoppable, and then the way he lost in the Elimination Chamber, that made no sense. Like, it was not believable.
And this is what I'm saying. Like what the hell? So okay, so now you took KO out of the picture. All right, that's fine. But my thing was, I was like, watch them do some crazy shit where like whoever ends up winning has to fight Roman right afterwards. And that's exactly what happened. Roman comes down, beats the shit out of Daniel Bryan, and retains the title. Why? How is that even like? Look, it's to show that anything can happen, whatever. But it's just the fact is like, logically, that's just stupid. And like, if you've got a show where you keep on presenting, oh, there's management and there's all these things and all these higher ups, and everybody's just okay with the next match being Roman Reigns.
Yeah, like, it's a championship match between two high caliber wrestlers, and you're gonna make that shit. That's why I say, like, a thing like Lesnar, how he legitimizes the belt, because you would never do something like that with the belt in a throwaway match like that with Lesnar. If you're gonna have it at a pay per view, it's gonna be, you know what I mean? Like, 9 out of 10 Lesnar matches are you know, drawing a crowd. Not, oh, just throw him in the ring. Okay, it's like, you know, unless it's a big thing like when he destroyed Cena, you know, with Suplex City, like that. But that was in itself was like, oh my God, Cena just got mutilated.
Right.
You know, but this was a throwaway match. You have fucking Daniel Bryan go the whole Elimination Chamber just to literally go, Elimination Chamber didn't matter. Like, not even to let it teeter for a couple months, to let it stew, and then at WrestleMania have the match and then have a match out of it. Okay, like, he earned it. He's training. Oh, okay, he lost. Whatever. But like, to literally have a whole match, have these guys fight their asses off, Daniel Bryan go the distance just to go, everything for the last hour meant nothing. Boom. Like, it's such stupid writing, dude. Like, I sit there and I'm like, how, like, they have no plan sometimes. It's like they have this big plan and they like don't think, but how did we get there? Like, well, like, you know, you do one thing that leads to the next, that leads to the next. But like the shit you're doing, you just keep writing yourselves into dead ends.
For real. Exactly. Like, and now these guys come out on SmackDown and they have to address everything and make it all part of their promo. Like, oh yeah, like you're a coward, whatever it is, and now get a rematch. Like of course you're gonna get a rematch. Like you don't I don't know. It's like you write yourselves into these stupid little walls, and then now you have to like run with it, and you figure, okay, now how do we get to the next pay-per-view, or how do we get to the next show? I don't know. It's just chaos. It's just chaos writing the way you guys they're doing it. I mean, like they must have a picture of like what they're expecting WrestleMania to look like, and I seriously think that it's just going to be like what the original predictions were, and they're just trying to change things because they have to sell Fastlane, and they have to, sell this idea that like, anything can happen in the road to WrestleMania, but it's just all going to culminate back into like what the original ideas were going to be anyway.
Dude, and don't forget Edge. Like, I know it seems like he's going after Reigns.
Yeah.
But even that, like, I don't know, man. Like, everything's just, like, so fucking...
Right, and that's the other thing, exactly. So now you got Edge, who's already told Roman, I'll see you at WrestleMania. And what, I'm supposed to expect Daniel Bryan's gonna win? So it'll be Daniel Bryan versus Edge? No fucking way.
Exactly.
I don't buy it. I won't, like, I'll watch Fastlane, but, like, only because I'm already paying for the network. Like, this isn't going, like, and that's another topic. It's just, like... It's not worth buying these pay-per-views when they're going to do garbage matches the way they're doing it. Which makes me think maybe they got everybody's money already, and it's just at this point, fuck you.
Well, yeah, I mean, they just sold the WWE Network for, what, $1 billion? Just over $1 billion to NBC, so I mean... Cha-ching!
Exactly. But, like, I would think that, who is it, NBC?
Yeah.
I would assume that the network would probably be like, we need quality like material here to keep the customers invested. I mean, it's the same thing like what USA and Fox are doing with Raw and SmackDown. From what I understand, from what I've been reading, Fox has been like really pressing whoever's in charge of WWE to actually make it more interesting to keep the viewership.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And so they're trying to do that with SmackDown, then they fail a little bit with Raw, but like they're trying to find that balance. So I would assume NBC would probably be the same way. Be like, yo, like your shit is garbage. This is what we're banking on to keep viewership with, what is it, Peacock service?
Peacock,
yeah. To keep Peacock interesting. What a crap streaming name. Anyway.
Wow.
I mean, like, get it. It's because of the Peacock, but like, all the kids are gonna be running around. Hey, I was watching this on Peacock. Okay, hey, what do you use when you go to the bathroom? Peacock.
I watch Peacock while I pee. Peacock.
What?
It's just whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know, man. The decisions they make are just so. I'd love to be in the writers' room, knowing. Like when they put this shit together, just who comes up with this idea, and then who's the one that says, "That's it,
bro." I got Daniel $1 million idea right here. Daniel wins, and then comes Fastlane. We just remove him from the picture, and we just put KO, Edge. Like what? And here's the other thing. So now what's it gonna be? A fucking fatal 4-way? This is what I keep saying. We keep talking about triple threats and fatal 4-ways at WrestleMania.
Honestly, okay. My final prediction for WrestleMania.
Okay.
Triple threat. Fuck, wait, no, I just had it. Damn it. I'm forgetting the third guy.
So the triple threat: Roman Reigns, Edge, KO. Wait, no, fatal 4-way with Daniel Bryan.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be. I'm thinking it's going to wind up being something like Jeff Hardy talking out like Hornswoggle.
What the fuck, Hornswoggle?
Hornswoggle, WrestleMania, WWE. He's gonna have his WrestleMania moment. Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's just a mess, and like hopefully they clean this all up for Fastlane, so we can just get a clear, decisive card for WrestleMania. But like, it is nice that there are many options. It's just that give me the right choice, you know. Give me what I want. It's got to be Roman and Edge. That's it. Don't make it a mess with other guys. It shouldn't be that way, considering that...
No, that shit can't be a triple threat or anything.
Right, because you got Edge won the Royal Rumble to choose a single opponent, not to be slipped into a triple threat.
Unless they put Goldberg in there. So you have fucking two part-timers and three, so they have the 3 spears. And then Bobby Lashley, he does the spear. Fuck it.
It's just WrestleMania main event. Whose spear is the better?
Yeah. Battle of the Spears. Yeah, like, how did that happen? Like, you always have, like, wrestlers who, like, you know, never overlap with their finishers or whatever. And then out of nowhere, you got fucking 4 guys doing the same finisher. 2 guys who do the sling blade. You had Rollins and you had
because they come in at different times. Like, they're not all, like, established at the same time, so like a new guy will come in, start paying homage to like there's an available move, like there's nobody on the roster who's doing whatever, so like a guy might be like, you know what, I'm gonna do that's gonna be my thing. And then years go by where we establish this guy as like a top contender, then we bring back the old guys, and then you've got this WrestleMania where all these guys have the fucking same move now.
I got some 4 generations in a ring. Fucking used to do with a spear. I invented that shit. I perfected it.
I'm making it better.
You got somebody like some old guy, some 6-year-old dude comes in. I don't know who might have had the spear before Goldberg or whatever, and he comes in and he's like, I'm the top contender still, guys. My spear might be blunted, but I'm gonna take you down. I gotta sharpen it on you guys. At this point, like right now, today, it's just really complicated on like what exactly is gonna be happening with wrestling moving forward. Whatever happens Monday, you know, things are gonna change all the time. So there's that.
The reason I lost it there was I had to go off air because with the voice you were doing, I just had the image of, you know, the Peter Griffin, like when he just kind of falls face first. I just imagine this guy like trying to like impress everybody. I'm gonna show you, and then he goes to like he runs and starts to gallop to go like do his spear to like Roman Reigns, and he just fucking drops and face plants in the middle of it. Beep.
Oh shit! Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's the one who discovered the ancient writings and brought the spear back into modern civilization.
The hieroglyphics,
found
the
in
ancient writings of the wrestling caves.
Back in 1902, I found these drawings of an ancient maneuver called the spear.
It's where a man takes his entire body, stifles it, and throws himself as a projectile into the opponent, and he takes them down. The idea is also to disembowel the opponent and completely dismember them in 2 pieces. But, you know, we can't do that type of shit. But that was the intention. The gladiators, of course, they did that to the ancient lions.
They would put blades in their elbow, and as they spear, the blade would slice clean through the belly of the enemy. Yeah. Are we doing a podcast?
I don't even know anymore. Like, what's happening?
Okay, yeah. WWE
done.
Fucked everything up. And okay, that's about that. Tom&Jerry came out on HBO Max. I have not seen it yet, but
so I did get to watch Tom&Jerry. And oh man. I stopped watching after like 30 minutes. I turned it off. Now, let me set you up because I want to give it a chance and like actually finish it. But like it was late at night. I was up late. It was like 4 o'clock. I had just finished watching WandaVision. And I was like, okay, let me try turning this on. And yeah, I don't know, dude. It's just boring. it was not what I was expecting from Tom and Jerry. Like, there's like little things that, you know, you expect. Okay, it's Tom and Jerry. I want to see if they're gonna like bring any of like the other characters from the show into the movie somehow. One specifically, I was looking for Spike the Bulldog, which
that's how I was thinking of the Bulldog. That when you said one of the other characters.
Absolutely, he's in there.
That's true.
But the people ruin this movie. It's just
like the live actors. You mean
the live actors? They're just not. I don't know. And you would think like you got what's his name? John Pena or Pena?
Michael Pena. Yeah.
Michael Pena.
Johnny Pena was never mind. Yeah.
Okay. So Michael Pena, he's funny in any other movie, but this one I just found him boring. Chloe Grace Moretz, found her boring. I don't know. Like, this movie was you got like some, in my opinion, you got some like really decent big actors. But I think it's the writing is just trash.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to it. I still was. I mean, I still am kind of. But when we saw the trailer the other night, like, I've been excited for this movie for a while, you know, since I knew it was coming out. And me and my girlfriend were, we saw the trailer pop up on TV, and I'm like getting excited. I'm like, okay. And then I look at her face, and she's like, oh, that looks bad. I'm like, no. I'm like, come on, it's going to be good. It's Tom and Jerry, yada, yada. And then now you're telling me this, and I'm like, oh, man, she's probably dead right. And
I mean, it's my initial 30-minute analysis of this.
I mean,
I'll
pop it on. Wow. I'll give it a try, and you know, like, I'm still gonna give it a chance, but like
the CGI is like okay, but there are like other parts where it's just really bad. And it all really comes down to the actors, like the live action people. They just, I don't know what the fuck, like, you know, like you see most movies where they know they're using CGI, right? Like you know, like they're like, okay, your hand placement specifically for this scene needs to be here because the CGI character is going to be jumping up and doing what, and then you just see her hand movements. Okay, specifically, it's a scene that takes place in the lobby, and they have oh my god, the guy from SNL, what's his name? That he's married to Scarlett.
From Adam Jost. Right?
Yeah, Jost. So Jost and I guess his wife in the movie, or girlfriend, fiance, they're in the lobby. They're checking in to the hotel, and they introduce Spike the Bulldog and this cat. And the cat is like all over the fucking place. But then she goes to like pick up the fiance picks up the cat, and you just see the way her hand is just like lifting this fake object, and they put the cat in that spot, and I'm like, oh my god, like it just caught me. It was like a very fast scene that, like, if you're not really looking forward, you wouldn't care. But like I was caught throughout the whole movie just looking at, oh, how did they know to get that tracking shot to put in like Jerry when he's riding one of the trolleys, the suitcase trolleys, and like he's riding it through the hallway, and it's like that tracking shot that they got of that motion because it like rotates, right? And I'm like, that's really clever that they did that, and then on the computer they were able to get the mouse to like sit there and like rotate around the map. Like, I'm just looking at all these little details of how they did it, and then you see that, and it just struck me as like very off-putting, where you're like, what the fuck? She's not, like, clearly she's not holding anything. They're not even acting like they are. Like, it's just so bad.
I gotta keep an eye out for that. That's like I've noticed that, or I've tried to do that in movies, like where characters are looking at certain placement objects or whatever, like, and not a real thing, and then you try to see if they're like still looking direct. There was something that caught me the other day. I don't know what it was, but it was a shot. It was like shot, and like it cut from one person, it cut to the person they were talking to, and when it cut back, like this person was looking like you could tell they were still trying to look at that person, but they were looking completely in a different direction, and it was just so jarring. There was something I was watching also. They did the same shit. I think it was like a child. I forgot exactly what movie it was that I was watching. It might have been The Witches.
But like you just like when they cut back, he was just looking. He wasn't looking where they were supposed to be looking, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It's like whatever, right? Like, you know, the movie, whatever. But like, it's just those little things that like they catch me. I notice them, and it like throws me off. And then you got to think like these are like studios that like know how to make movies. You would think, like, after knowing that, like, how many studios do reshoots or whatever, that they would probably do, like, something to just fix these things. Or, like, while they're filming, they would just be like, you know what? That actually doesn't look
lazy,
good.
Joe.
I guess it's all laziness, but, like, you got to think, like, if these are studio-type people who can just be lazy like that, then what's stopping me from making a movie?
You're the only thing stopping you from making a movie.
Right, and
You want to
budget.
make a movie, you just got to get a movie. I mean, you can still make a movie. Depends what kind of movie you want to make.
I'm just saying, I'm not talking about making a movie. I'm just saying, it's just like, you know, goddamn, like these are things that like you would expect to like be better.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right though. Like some of these mistakes in edits, like it's just like,
and it's fine. Like there's like I love reading like IMDb's list of like little mess ups in movies. Like it's very interesting to see like even in the Mandalorian, there's a shot when they go into like one of the taverns and there's a boom mic clearly in the frame. Like it's like fun little things like that are like cool, but like it was actually unnoticeable to me. And I watched the scene afterwards knowing that there was a boom mic and I still couldn't really find it. But like it's just they're fun facts, but like when it's just like so like eye striking like that, you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I like on IMDb looking at the goofs, like, oh, there's a cup in a scene. When they come back, the cup's moved, or you know, like there's a milkshake full. They cut away. It's like half. Then they come back. It's full again.
Like what was that show? Game of Thrones. The last scene, the last like dinner scene. Daenerys has a coffee cup next to her on the table, and you're like, wait, what? Why is there a coffee cup there?
Is that real? I remember seeing that, but like I thought that
from
was
what
just like,
I didn't watch the scene over to confirm that, but from what I mean, I read it and I was like, okay, I guess they did that.
Oh, that reminds me of Troy. In one of the scenes, the camera catches an airplane up in the sky.
Yeah, I read about that too. Yeah, there should not be airplanes.
What is that? Unidentified flying objects.
There's aliens. They're coming down to the city of Tri. this is I don't know, but anyway. Besides that, like the CGI is not the worst part about Tom and Jerry. It's just the writing, and it's just I don't know. It just feels weird. I'm trying to think. There was another movie I was watching the other night that threw me off. It was shit. What was it? Oh, so I got to finally watch Dr. Dolittle with Robert Downey Jr.
I was gonna say De Niro, yeah, Downey Jr.
Horrible.
Really?
Another movie, they got a big name actor to be the main character. Why the fuck did they dub all of his voice lines?
They dubbed his voice lines?
Yes. They dubbed it or they amplified his voice to a tone that is unrealistic.
What?
They modified his voice. It's horrible. He's putting on like an accent, right? I don't know exactly what the accent is. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But it's Robert Downey Jr. Like whatever his performance for this voice was, why did you modulate it?
I hadn't heard anything about this, but yeah, no, exactly. If you're gonna do it, why not just get somebody else, and why pay a big name just to distort it to the point where you're not even getting the talent out of them? Like, I mean, you know, maybe delivery and line delivery, but you distort it so much on top of the skill they're presenting you with, like an accent or something. That like that's. I
just googled it real quick. It's absolutely is dubbed. Apparently, that I'm not the only one that's criticizing it for that. Yeah, I don't get it. I wanted to watch this movie so badly. I was like very excited, and his voice is just so off-putting. Like that's probably one of the worst movies I've seen recently, and it's a shame because he came hot off of the Avengers.
Yeah,
and then that's his first role, and it's just the worst thing.
Listen, bad news, RDJ. Listen, bad news. You're gonna be at his Iron Man. Don't worry. We got you, Doolittle. Oh, you guys, my career's locked.
Right. Okay.
The day after the premiere. Yo, is Tony here? Any chance Tony Stark's still alive, man?
Any chance we can bring him back? Multiverse stuff. I hear Wanda's doing some crazy things.
Wait, look online. Look online. See the correlation between when Doolittle came out and when WandaVision went into production, dude. It's like 2 years later. It's like RDJ created the whole new multiverse because he needed a job. They created a whole universe for this guy because he needed a job. I'm going with it. That's
So Wanda's powers have just been amplified. No, not because of anything that's in the comics, because of Robert Downey Jr.'s career. You gotta get me back in.
Doolittle flop, guys. Oh,
guys.
Get the portals ready.
I love you 3000. Make it work. My God.
Thank God. That was. I'm serious. I want to look up those dates, man. The whole House of M thing Olsen wanted to do. I mean, we could tie the multiverse in with that, and we're doing it. Fuck it, we're doing it. We'll make it happen.
Whatever you would pay me, just put it into the budget. I don't even give a shit. Just get me back in here.
But nobody tell Tom Holland shit.
If you're gonna tell him shit, give him fake ones so he can't ruin it.
Fake stuff.
And Ruffalo too. And you know what? Falcon and Winter Soldier also.
Yeah,
You know what? Just tell everybody bullshit. Even Wanda.
Dead. People are confused. She won't even know what the hell's going on.
And then we can say that in the show when everything is happening, and she goes, "I have no idea what's happening."
In fact, we'll make a show about a show, so it's like she's watching it, she won't even know, and that could be the whole thing. Yo, this is probably the line of thing. Now, this is how you write some shit, WWE. Whatever Disney was doing, they got it. All because RDJ needed a job. Well, that's a great theory. But
anyway, Doolittle.
Doolittle, do more. Doolittle can't do any less.
So Tom and Jerry, bad. But I am gonna watch it again just to give it its full viewership on that. Maybe I'll have a different review after the fact, but it also could be that I was tired. It was 5 a.m. by the time I shut it off, so maybe it was just nah, I'm not into this shit right now. But I don't know. That initial 30-40 minutes was just it was painful. And then Doolittle also was just I watched the entirety of Doolittle. But the problem with that movie, besides the dubbing, is just the pacing. Literally from 1 minute to another, we were on a boat, then we were in a Persian island, and then we were in a cave with a dragon. I don't know.
It's spanning a lot of land there.
I got what the story was, but it was just that I guess they were trying to fit all of it into an hour 30 minute. And obviously, lots of scenes got removed. And, that's just one of those things where you can just tell that, there definitely was more story here, but you guys cut it down to fit this time slot. Otherwise, I feel like Doolittle would benefit from having, an extended, maybe a director's cut of some sort that, gave it the full, and then just remove that dubbing, and it would be a better movie. Just let me hear Robert's real voice, please. I don't care. Whatever the voice is that he did for the film, let's just hear the authentic version of that. That's it. That's my criticism. Now go watch them.
Now I'm intrigued to watch it.
Go watch it. Watch both of them.
Was it on HBO Max?
I believe it was HBO Max, yeah. I don't know how else I would have watched it.
Netflix?
I mean, it was either Netflix, it was either Disney, or it was HBO Max.
Yeah, so I mean, but that's what I'm saying. When I asked HBO Max, I meant specifically HBO Max.
What?
And then you don't know how else you could have watched it, but then you pointed out 2 other ways you could have watched.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, Tom and Jerry. Okay, trash.
Yeah. So did we actually talk about the witches? I don't think we talked about the witches.
No, about Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
No, we did not.
Have you watched it yet?
I did. Yeah, I actually watched it when it first
Okay.
came out.
What'd you think of it?
I liked it.
Good. Yeah. I liked it too. All right. Good. Like I really, yeah. I mean, like I wanted to like.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like,
what's up?
no, I said yeah. I did. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Well, what were you gonna say? It seemed like you had more-
So like I went into that one like obviously like I like the original movie. So I wanted to see something like more updated and modern, and it's exactly what it was. It's just very. I thought Anne Hathaway was fantastic as the Grand High Witch. I loved her accent, like her whole voice, like all of that stuff about her. I like the way they made the witches like very like monstrous. Like the original did like some crazy shit with their witches. That makeup was fucking awesome. This one, obviously, it's all CGI now, but like it was still good, and like some of it's just striking in the fact that like they're missing toes, their claws.
yeah, it's real hideous.
Yeah, and like I liked it. Like the CGI was actually on point. The makeup was fantastic. Yeah.
You know who the director is, right?
No, I didn't catch that.
Boy, Robert Zemeckis, Back to the Future, Forrest Gump.
Oh, so there you go. So yeah, awesome. Exactly.
My
like
favorite
he
movie.
knows-
What are your favorite movies? Like
which one is that? No, Back to the Future.
And Forrest Gump for me.
Oh, Forrest Gump. Okay, so like the guy, yeah, clearly, you know,
Academy Award. Yeah, I mean he's got a great.
he knows what
great
he's doing when he makes movies, and like so, The Witches was in good hands. Yeah, there's nothing I could really complain about. Pacing, everything was just fantastic. It was on point. It's just enjoyable. I loved it, and like I love the whimsicalness of it, like the colors and everything that were in that movie was just very, very colorful and horrific. Right? Like not like scary, but like just the like the things about like that world is just like, well, yeah, like, you know, it's not that happy ending that you get from the original movie. Like the witches were like powerful and there was no reversing what they did. Once they did it, that was it. You're fucked. And so, you know, it made it good that it's not like one of those things where you're like, oh, so I watched this movie, everything that happened in it was basically meaningless because they were able to undo it anyway at the end. It's like it's permanent. It's done. Be afraid of witches.
Yeah. But wait, did they undo it in the first one?
In the original movie, they undo it. Yeah, they have like the White Witch, the nice one. I think she was actually Angelica Huston's like right-hand man, like her lieutenant. Yeah, she was with her like the entire movie. Like when they go into that room where they're talking about like when they disrobe their forms, she's in there. She also takes off her wig. She's also just as hideous as they are. But then at the end, she goes to the house at the end of the movie, and she has like a magic thing with her ring, and she sends like a beam into the house, and she turns Luke back into a boy.
That's weird because I watched that maybe within the last year. We rewatched it because I knew the new one was coming out, and I saw the new one whenever it premiered. But wow, that's weird. I have trouble remembering the very, very end. I guess probably because I saw the new one now. That's like distorted by image of the ending. But okay, yeah, because I do like that. I thought that was in the original also. But yeah, like no, that's it. You're mouse life for life.
Yeah, you're done. And then the fun fact about all that is that, you know, obviously it came from the book Road Dolls, The Witches. In the book, it actually the original movie changes from the book. That it ends. What happens in this movie is more in line with the book than the original.
Oh,
in the simple fact of that single witch who undoes the magic. She doesn't exist in the books, and she didn't exist in the new movie either.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it follows, yeah. Which makes sense because he's pretty dark, that dude.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but otherwise, like, yeah, it's just nice to actually be able to say, like, there's a movie that existed, you know, in the, I forgot when it came out, 80s? And now you got this new movie, and like they both exist. You don't have to watch one or the other. You don't have to prefer one or the other. They both exist, and they can both coexist.
Yeah, and the first one took place in Norway too, which was cool.
Yeah,
I love Norway, bro. I love Norway. I can't wait to go there. Yeah, but yeah, no, you're right. Like, dude, yeah.
Have you been watching WandaVision?
WandaVision, I have been.
Dude,
what a great show! What a great show! Like,
I'm gonna be controversial.
Okay, you didn't like the last episode.
The last episode was kinda meh.
Really? Why?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I've been reading too much of like online speculation, and so like a lot of people have proposed ideas for where they think the show's going to go, or like explain, or what the show's going to explain. And so when the show finally did it, it was kind of like, but didn't we kind of already know that? I don't know. I don't know if it's like I've tainted myself by like being online, but like the whole
Probably
thing,
a little bit.
yeah, but like the whole thing of like her with the her and her brother in the living room with the Stark missile that didn't go off. They already explained that in Age of Ultron. That's what happened. That's why she went and became part of the whole like she joined Hydra in the first place, was because they sat there for 3 days in the apartment with the Stark missile that never went off. And that's why she hates Stark. That's why her and her brother do what they do with Ultron. So like to finally see that, I mean, it's kind of cool, but like I don't know.
Plus, when that explosion came in, and you're just watching it, they're just watching
they're watching the show, and
the Van Dyke show, and it's like, oh, but like all of a sudden, just that like it's still like that. Like, oh man, like
that definitely it fucked me up. Like there was when I was watching that, like my mouth did drop. I was like, oh, like I knew it was coming, but it was just like how it just goes off. It's like, oh shit, okay. I don't know, but like at the same time, I feel like it was like too much with the like, oh, this is why she's watching, her whole fantasy world is all like these early TV shows, is because that's all she was watching. And it's like, I don't know, part of it felt fake, like felt forced for the narrative of the story. I don't know what I'm like. What I mean is like none of it is there throughout the shows, and then like throughout the movies
until now. Like
until now, it's like all of it is. Oh, when she was little, she watched these shows. When she was in prison with Vision, she was watching TV, and this is why she correlates these like this life with what she wants for her and Vision. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think there were some lines of dialogue though that's like that alluded, like kind of implied like the idea of like I guess the perfect life, or I forget what it was, but I think in that way, I mean, for me, honestly, I love the episode. I thought it did a great way of explaining everything, wrapping it, kind of filling in the gaps for anybody who may or may not have been like, following intently over the last 15 years. But just really like explaining it too in like one nice swooping motion. And then getting us right back up to where we are, how she got there, how she got to that house, how she just kind of, because she is so powerful just because of that pure emotion and how lost she felt, just created this whole thing. I mean, it but at the same time, it makes sense because when else were we going to see the I Love Lucy, the Dick Van Dyke, and those references? I mean, we could have, but there's been so much going on. We really haven't had a chance to, and it makes sense though that we saw him now, the one time in her life when she was able to really just sit back and enjoy them at the peak of her life before her family was killed. So like, I mean, and you also got to realize like, it was like the ghost of Christmas past, Christmas future, Christmas present in a way. And it makes sense that she took her to this whole community was built around this 50s TV show kind of mentality. And so it makes sense that, the Jacob Marley, the Jacob Marley or the ghost of Christmas past, if you will, takes her to this point that was this crucial moment, and that it does tie in because of these shows. Like I get how it does seem like they just threw it in there now to have it make sense, but it kind of builds on itself, because you can't have this world that she created without that moment, both because of the shows that created it aesthetically, but the incident that happened that created it in her emotional and mental consciousness. So like,
yeah, no, I mean, like, I agree. It definitely it makes sense. It's just like, I don't know. It's like I get it, but then
I think you just gotta stop reading shit. just sit back and watch.
Wow.
No, honestly, I mean, like I do a little bit here or there, or especially like after a show, like I'll maybe like touch on some things, or I'll look, but like I try not to do too much speculation and like reading, because I mean, it's just going to spoil it. And then, like, if it does happen that way, and you've exhausted every possible, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. I read it might happen that way. It's like, no, I want to watch it go, oh, shit. Like, I like kind of going into, with a little bit of like a naivety, because
right. I guess because then that's the point where like I'm at, where like it sets you up for disappointment.
Yeah. If you already expect everything, it's like, okay, it could be, it's kind of like us with WWE, but WWE, it's like, we have to, because we know we're going to be disappointed. Like, we know to expect the unexpected. So we have to like overly, could this be, exhaust every road, because otherwise we'd be like, fucking, they fucked us again. So, but with these shows, it's like, I know they're going to tell me a great story that I'm, is going to be a nice navigating, meandering, turn. So yeah, I wanted to sit back and let them do that for me, because, I trust that they're going to tell me a good story and I'm going to be wowed by it. And it's unknown, whereas it's weird because wrestling's reality and yet we know it. This is fiction and yet we don't know it. And we want to not know it until we're told it. Whereas wrestling is reality, which is supposed to be unknown. And yet, like, we're really actively conscious rather of how it may play out. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a lot to think about. But I believe I know what you're talking about, because like I'm pretty sure I've had the thoughts that the same way. Whereas like, yeah, like, why is it like I've had that conversation of like people who talk shit about wrestling. You're like, obviously I know it's fake, but it presents itself in a way that like they themselves, the wrestlers, will stay in that world even when they do interviews and like convince you that it's real. Yeah. But then when things go down in the story that just absolutely don't make sense, you're like, what the fuck? Like, you're telling me to believe this thing, and then you guys fuck it up and change it, and just we completely drop everything that's been established. So you guys are fucking with everything that you stand for. Whereas when it comes to like a TV show where you're like, I know it's fake. It's all fake. And I just want to be entertained. But then, like, you guys, they give you what you want, and like you just know, like, you know what to expect. Like, if you're watching a horror movie, everybody's gonna die. If you're watching a happy movie or a comedy, it's gonna be a good ending. It could be sad, but like there's comedy and you had a good time with it. With wrestling, you're just like, what the fuck is this garbage?
We've come back to point number one, WWE.
But anyway, with WandaVision though, like, one thing that I really liked was one of the theories I had with, I had said like, Agnes is probably gonna do something where she's gonna like try to teach Wanda how to use her magic, and then one of the things that they said early on in the show was they asked, does Wanda have an alias, like a funny name to go by? And they said, no, there's no alias, which caught me. I was like, wait a minute, but isn't she the Scarlet Witch? Then it made me realize nowhere in the movies have they established that she is the Scarlet Witch. They only refer to her as Wanda. So this is where the show is going to finally birth the name for her. And so I said, Agnes is going to do something. It's probably going to teach her how to use her magic. That's going to make her become a witch. And then they'll dub her the Scarlet Witch. That didn't exactly play out in the way I thought it would. But Agnes told her. Yeah, she named her. She dubbed her the Scarlet Witch because she told her, she's like, you're using chaos magic. That makes you the Scarlet Witch. That made me smile because I was like, there we fucking go.
That tickled me in the belly.
I don't know, man.
Great.
Okay. So that's all we got time for today. I think a lot of good stuff to look forward to in the coming weeks with Wanda. Give Tom and Jerry another run through, so we'll be able to talk about that again next week with a full in-depth analysis. And and let's see what's going on with wrestling. And if there's any topics you guys specifically liked, go ahead and let us know in the comments. And if there's anything that you want us to touch on, put in more detail. Maybe you want to hear us more ideas about what's going on in wrestling. We could turn this into a wrestling podcast. Or just keep it just this format of hitting the major topics that we just enjoy in general. Whatever the case, we're in for the long haul, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Bless you all and have a great night.
I'm done.
So bless you all and have a great night. Like we're ending a sermon.